Welcome back everyone, it's Charlie. This is going to be my new Spider-Man 3 Doctor Strange 2 video. Marvel just dropped some of the best news, so we'll break it all down and explain what's going on with all this multiverse, Spider-Verse stuff. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. They're going to be filming Doctor Strange 2 and Spider-Man 3 at the same time in a couple weeks, so this will all make sense pretty soon.
I'm sorry, I'm confused as to the relationship here. I mean, what is he, your ward?
No. I'm Peter, by the way.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, you're using your made-up names. I'm Spider-Man, then.
But we'll do an Amazon giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave all your predictions for Spider-Verse in Spider-Man 3. Starting with the big stuff first though, number 5, if you didn't see the news earlier this morning, Deadline, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, The Wrap, all the biggest Hollywood trades, the real big publications, are reporting that Benedict Cumberbatch Doctor Strange will be in Spider-Man 3, and Spider-Man 3 will cross over with the Doctor Strange 2 movie, which is now the next Marvel movie right after Spider-Man 3, whereas before the virus shut down, it was actually supposed to be the other way around, with Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness happening right before the events of Spider-Man 3. It provides a better explainer for why Jamie Foxx's Electro from the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man movies is coming back as a Sinister Six villain in Spider-Man 3, and it explains a little more about how WandaVision in those episodes with Scarlet Witch mess up the multiverse. Because WandaVision is also supposed to cross over with Doctor Strange 2, Scarlet Witch will be a main character during that movie. We'll be getting the WandaVision episodes later this year, so we won't have to wait too long to see how that happens. The news reports, though, are also quoting that Doctor Strange now is supposed to step in and serve as sort of a new mentor for Spider-Man in Spider-Man 3, the same way that Iron Man was a mentor to him before he died in Avengers Endgame, sort of connecting back to their meeting during Avengers Infinity War. Like, you're the guy from that ship and the guy who did all the weird circles before we fought Thanos and came back to life. So in Spider-Man 3, we're still going to be using our made-up names. Everybody post all your memes. Number 4, Doctor Strange 2 is also being directed by Sam Raimi, Mr. Spider-Man himself from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. Really excited to see what he does with the movie. There was a brief period a long time ago when Sam Raimi even tried to get a Doctor Strange movie made before Marvel Studios became the big powerhouse that it was today. He even dropped a huge Doctor Strange Easter egg during Spider-Man 2.
Guy named Otto Octavius winds up with 8 limbs. What are the odds? Hoffman!
Yeah?
What are we gonna call this guy?
Dr. Octopus.
That's crap.
Science Squid?
Crap.
Doctor Strange.
That's pretty good. But it's taken. Wait, I got it. Dr. Octopus.
I like it.
Of course you do.
It's funny to see how things have turned out in the way that Kevin Feige and the MCU are trading so hard on the multiverse and now Spider-Verse Easter eggs, so we already got the seeds of the MCU multiverse back during the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. Even though when you asked Sam Raimi about that scene, he said that he had no idea things would eventually turn out the way they did with the MCU and all the Marvel movies. Number 3 though, the reason why it's important that Doctor Strange 2 is crossing over with Spider-Man 3 is because of the multiverse theme of the Marvel Phase 4 movies they're going with. All the Marvel Phase 4 movies will somehow incorporate the multiverse repercussions of what Scarlet Witch does during WandaVision. That's the whole point of those Marvel Disney Plus series being Avengers Endgame spin-offs, is that they're supposed to star the movie actors and they're supposed to cross over with the movies and influence the plot of future movies. I'll explain the WandaVision stuff in a second, but as a result of this new confirmation, now we can also say Spider-Man 3 will also have some multiverse elements. Probably not quite as crazy as what we'll see during Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness, because multiverse is literally in the title of that movie. Spider-Man 3 will still mostly be just a plain old Spider-Man movie with him dealing with the fallout of Mysterio leaking his secret identity and blaming him falsely for his death. So the Electro twist with Jamie Foxx's character coming back is probably the biggest type of multiverse twist that I'm expecting. In early theory, Jamie Foxx claimed on his Instagram account that he was definitely coming back as Electro, but that he wouldn't be blue this time. He quickly deleted that post. The Marvel snipers got to him like, you're not allowed to reveal any of these details yet, be quiet, so he deleted his post. But we screen capped it before he did. You thought we wouldn't notice, but we did. But a lot of people saw his post about not being blue this time and assumed that that meant that they wouldn't be using a multiverse twist and he would just be a version of MCU Electro and it wouldn't really be connected to the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man movies. But now because of the direct Doctor Strange 2 crossover and confirmed multiverse theme, my early theory is, before we get more information about this, because they won't start filming for a couple more weeks, is that Electro will look more like comic book Electro's classic costume, a little more authentic to the original version. but he'll still be a version of the character who fought a version of Spider-Man that looked like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man in another universe. So there'll still be some Spider-Verse Easter eggs, and you can argue whether or not that canonizes the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man movies to the Spider-Verse of the MCU. But the other really cool Easter egg here is that number 2, speaking of Electro Spider-Verse Easter eggs, fun fact, energy crosses the multiverse all the time. They've already been doing it a lot in the MCU. Remember the way that they explained how magic in the MCU works during the Doctor Strange movie? The same way that the Thor movies also explain some of their more advanced technology, just science that you haven't learned to explain yet. During the Doctor Strange movie, the Ancient One taught Doctor Strange that the power from their spells are pulled from other dimensions, and that's also where the Dormammu Dark Dimension, Dark Energy twist came from. The Ancient One and Caecilius, his followers, were pulling dark energy from Dormammu's dimension across the multiverse to gain even more power. So it's them manipulating energy, pulling it into the main MCU universe from other dimensions. Electro, from Amazing Spider-Man 2, became a being of pure energy, so it'd be way easier for him to cross between universes of the multiverse. They also use the energy explainer during Avengers Endgame to travel the multiverse, time and space as well, and during Ant-Man and the Wasp. They use quantum energy. So Doctor Strange isn't using quantum energy when he's weaving spells. It's a different kind of energy, but it's the same basic principle. Energy crosses between dimensions of the multiverse in the MCU much easier. I think the real question, though, about Electro and Spider-Verse Easter eggs in Spider-Man 3 is how he actually winds up on the MCU version of Earth. Is it an accident? Is it on purpose? But usually when we talk about Spider-Man movies and Spider-Man-style stories, usually it winds up being big accidents. Like, oops, then you have a big one-liner and some quips from Spider-Man. So number 1, going back to WandaVision, how is this all going to work? Starting with WandaVision, we know they're dealing with the multiverse based on the WandaVision trailer footage. It seems like what's going on during that is that Scarlet Witch is living inside a bubble alternate reality where she controls reality and can change things on the fly, and that's how she brings Vision and her children to life. That's also why everything looks like it's the different eras of the TV shows and the sitcoms, because it's her warping reality, jumping through TV decades and sitcoms. But early theory, she loses control of that House of M style because there was a big House of M Easter egg during the trailer. In that story, the alternate reality where mutants were supreme wound up crumbling around her. So that might happen in the MCU, making her go even crazier trying to save her twin children and Vision, and while she's doing that, she winds up cracking the fabric of the entire multiverse around the MCU Earth. Then that would be a really easy way to explain how characters from other universes and things start to bleed into our MCU Earth, influencing all the rest of the Marvel Phase 4 movies. Then that's probably why Doctor Strange gets involved. Wanda, what did you do to the multiverse? And why Doctor Strange 2 is literally titled Multiverse of Madness. Larger, more powerful cosmic villains probably take advantage of what Scarlet Witch tries to do and then come into our dimension. Then because of the way they've reordered some of the Marvel movies during Marvel Phase 4, we continue to see the after effects of that multiverse conflict continue during Spider-Man 3, giving way to Spider-Verse Easter eggs and helping set the stage for Spider-Man to cross over with Venom in a future movie later on. That'll be a separate Sony thing. So it does make sense that they'd want to tease Spider-Verse and explain that in live action before Spider-Man has a major crossover with Venom. Then the Venom 2 movie is also coming out before Doctor Strange 2. It would also explain how Tom Holland could appear in a cameo scene during that as well, just more multiverse Spider-Verse after effects. Then when we get to Doctor Strange 2, that's where Doctor Strange mostly cleans up the whole multiverse mess with the help of Scarlet Witch, who's a main character during Doctor Strange 2. It also now, because Doctor Strange is supposed to be a mentor to Spider-Man in Spider-Man 3 with all this multiverse Spider-Verse stuff going on, it also might mean that Spider-Man might cameo during Doctor Strange 2. The Marvel-Sony sharing deal was for Spider-Man 3 and one more mystery MCU crossover movie for Spider-Man. Doctor Strange 2 just might wind up being that mystery movie. But post all your theories in the comments below. What other multiverse Spider-Verse Easter eggs do you want to see during Spider-Man 3? I know everybody wants some pizza time, everyone wants to see Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man cameo, everyone wants to see some Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man cameos. There is that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man costume inside the Morbius trailer, but there are a lot of rumors about how that's explained during the movie. We'll have to wait a little bit longer to find out. Obviously, that doesn't get into any of the Sinister Six stuff that they're setting up during Spider-Man 3, because that's where Jamie Foxx's Electro character comes in too. He was an OG Sinister Six team member. But as they start to film Spider-Man 3 in the next couple of weeks, they'll be in New York City doing that. So if you live in New York City, you might be able to spot them filming out on the street. So I will be doing more Spider-Man 3 videos as we get more behind the scenes clips and teasers about what's actually going on during the movie, but leave all your requests and big questions in the comments below. Everyone click here for my Spider-Man 3 Andrew Garfield Electro video, and click here for my new trailer for The Boys Season 2 Episode 8, that's the finale. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, I'll see you guys tonight.